Hello, how are you? How's everything? This is Mukhtar with Miss Laura, MCT for the CELTA course, which is about to start right after Ramadan. How are you, Miss Laura? How are you doing?
Oh, very well, thank you. A bit full. I hope you're okay too.
Ah, yes, it was kind of an hour after iftar, so that's why.
Exactly. And we've all eaten. Maybe too much.
Yes. I don't know. It's Ramadan. People should fast, but they do fast, but they get
Pretty
well,
hungry, I think, after a day of
yeah,
fasting. I think I would
yes,
be very hungry. So
yeah.
it's very
Everybody well.
tempting to eat too much in the evening. I would. And I do.
Well. Uh, okay, good. So today we'll be talking about CELTA Preparation Course. We've been talking about the CELTA course itself for kind of long uh, live sessions, and I think it were 5, 6 sessions, live sessions about CELTA. We've talked about, I think, all details we can cover. You can go back through the channel and you find, or the Facebook page, and you can see them. For today, we'll be talking about CELTA Preparation Course, a course that will prepare you to do well in the CELTA. So if we're going to start with some basic questions, we already prepared. If you have any kind of questions, please drop it in the comments, and we'll make sure we answer all your questions. So we might start with, who is this course for?
Well, basically, it's for people who are planning to take the CELTA. You don't have to be planning to take the CELTA. Maybe it's something you're curious about. Maybe you want to know what the CELTA is like. So, it's not completely exclusive. So people who perhaps would like to take the CELTA one day, or have heard about it and are curious, they might like to take it just to get an idea of what the course is like. And also, obviously, for people who are planning to take CELTA, sometimes people have already signed up and been accepted onto the course. So again, they would like to have a little taster, get a general idea of what they will encounter on the course. And sometimes people, and we already have a mix of people who are planning to take the CELTA at a later date. And again, they would like to know what kinds of subjects they'll cover on the CELTA course, and to see what's expected of them. So again, the word is preparation here. So if you want to have an idea of what you'll see on the course, then some of the subjects, not all of the subjects, but the main ones will be covered in the preparation course. So perhaps when you start the CELTA course, there weren't too many surprises, because when we discuss things or present things in the input sessions on CELTA, you'll be like, oh, yes, we talked about that, or we studied a bit about that on the preparation course.
Great, perfect. So now I can join the course, the CELTA Preparation Course, if I'm already accepted, and whether soon or later, and if I want to have a general idea about what is CELTA, or have some input from it. Perfect. So is there any kind of requirement to have, or like what level of English should I have to join?
Well, if you've been accepted onto the CELTA, that means your English is probably around the C1 level, C1, higher end of C1. If your English level is lower, we might accept you onto the course anyway, but you might not be able to join the CELTA course for maybe a couple of months, because obviously if you're B2, whilst that might be okay to do the preparation course, that won't necessarily be enough to do the CELTA course. So if you're sort of thinking ahead and you're not sure about your English level, then you could take the preparation course, and then you might realize that some things on the course are a bit difficult. So you might think, okay, well, perhaps I should go away and brush up my English for a couple of months, maybe 3 months, depending on where you are in your English, because let's face it, we all have different abilities. Some of us are better at speaking, writing, listening, reading, and so on. And on CELTA in particular, your spoken and written levels need to be very high. Otherwise, you'll have problems on the course. Well, firstly, you wouldn't be accepted onto the course. But if somehow you manage to scrape through, you might suffer on the course with the written work, because your lesson plans have to be written mostly correctly, your assignments have to be written correctly. So you don't want to fail just because your English level wasn't enough, or because your spoken and level wasn't quite enough. Maybe you couldn't understand the instructions, or you couldn't understand what you had to do. So that would be an absolute nightmare. So yes, we would accept people with lower levels of English, but we might sort of tell you, okay, don't apply for the CELTA course just yet. Give yourself 2 or 3 months, because there's always a course that you can take later. You don't always have to take it immediately. So like anything else, prepare in advance. Think about your long-term goals and plan accordingly.
Yeah, sure. Perfect. That might lead us to the next one, which is it guaranteed if I take the CELTA preparation course that I'll be accepted to join the CELTA course?
So not necessarily, because you still have to go through the application process. So whether you've taken the CELTA preparation course or not, everybody has to apply. And that's the Cambridge rule. That's out of our hands. So you might find that, hopefully you go through the application process and you're successful. Inshallah, that's for everybody. But you might find that, the written tasks that you were asked to do for the interview, although you might have seen something similar on the preparation course, we might be asking more of you, because they're usually longer. So again, when you write something longer, there's more possibility of you making mistakes, because that's why what we need to see on the CELTA course is that you can write at least 750 to 800 words without too many mistakes. We don't expect it to be perfect. 3 or 4 mistakes here and there, not the end of the world. English is my mother tongue. I sometimes make mistakes when I write. The important thing is I can look at it afterwards and go, oh, hang on a minute, and I'll change it. And that's what we need you to be able to do. So, yes, we can't guarantee it, but it should certainly put you in the right direction. Right?
Yeah, sure.
And we'll tell you at the end of the course where you are, and so say, okay, maybe don't apply now, but maybe wait a bit, or yes, apply immediately.
Okay, so this is perfect. Okay, nice. And if so what about the course content?
Okay, well, I've made a little list, so that's why I've got my glasses, so I can see what I got. All righty. Yeah. So just to give you an overall, by the end of the course, you'll have sort of got an idea of how to prepare for different types of lessons. Okay, so think about skills lessons like reading, writing, listening, speaking, because these are the kinds of lessons you'll be teaching on the course. How to teach vocabulary lessons, how to prepare a lesson plan for a grammar lesson, right? Because these are all the types of lessons you'll be expected to teach on the CELTA course at 2 different levels. Because by the end of the course, we need to know that you can teach, language lessons, which are grammar and vocabulary, and skills lessons, all right, at both levels. You might find that you're better with one level than another. That doesn't matter, but that's the idea, is to prepare you for that. Okay. To give you an idea of how to teach those lessons. So, we'll give you examples of how to do it, and look at, how we focus on certain areas like receptive skills, like, this is how we prepare a reading skills lesson or a listening skills lesson, the sub skills of reading and listening, things like, scanning, gist. We'll sort of teach you how to recognize those, how to identify them, how to help students practice those sub skills. And that also applies to the productive skills lessons. We'll show you how to apply the sub skills of speaking and writing, how to, prepare your students for a speaking lesson, going through controlled practice or a guided speaking task, and then from accuracy to fluency. And that's the same in writing, obviously. With productive skills, we go from accuracy to fluency. So how to set up a writing lessons and different types of writing lessons, how to guide your students, and of course, how to teach grammar and vocabulary, how to check meaning, how to clarify the form, and to help students understand and use it effectively. All right.
Yeah.
And, by the end, as an overall, you'll sort of get an overall picture of the CELTA course, because there's things like pronunciation and phonology, which we might not have time to go into detail on the preparation course, but again, we can give you a taster, because those are the sort of main areas that we focus on: how to analyze language for teaching purposes, how to analyze basic phonology for teaching purposes, because that's pronunciation, and then how to teach the different types of lessons: receptive skills, productive skills, and then grammar and vocabulary. And also, sorry, I forgot to mention, how to prepare you for the written work on the course, because as you know, there are assignments.
The assignments, yeah, this is
yes. So again, you don't have a big shock when you go onto the course, like, oh my God, sort of how to deal with them. Because CELTA assignments are not difficult. It's usually because we're asking you to write about things that you haven't had to write about before. So it's not because it's academically difficult, it's just like, oh, I've never thought about it like that. So you need some guidance beforehand.
Perfect. So the content is most probably about how to teach language and skills. Language means like grammar and vocab, and skills, the 4 skills of the language. Plus I will have some idea about how to go through my writing assignments, the 4 writing assignments. Perfect. And by the end of it, I will have kind of not coaching, but directed. I'll be directed whether to take the CELTA course now or with a couple of months, or what areas to work on. That's
a bit
really
helpful. Like a mini baby CELTA course, really.
Yeah. Okay. And if so, how long is the course?
It's about 24 hours. Okay. So we do it in different formats. We're planning to do one starting on the 4th of May, actually, where we're going to do this one online, all right, because it's Ramadan, and we're planning to run that in the afternoon before iftar, so that it'll give you something to do, so you don't have to think about food all the time. So, for example, we're hoping to do this like between 1 and 5, so it'll be a bit intensive, sort of 4 hours over 6 days. But the idea being that it finishes just before Eid. And again, we finish before iftar, so you've got plenty of time to, have a quick rest beforehand. And it should keep you occupied. Because sometimes it's quite good to be busy during Ramadan, isn't it? Whereas when you're at home on your own, you sort of start thinking about, oh, God, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's better to have a distraction, I think, according to many of my fasting friends. They say sometimes it's better to be busy, then you're not worried about it all the time.
And by the end of the course, by the end of like each day, it's like just an hour left for the iftar. So yeah, that would be fine.
Shortens it. You can survive a bit longer.
Yeah, good. And does the course guarantee acceptance? I think we've answered this one.
Yes.
So it's not really, because you need some more requirements, or some more things will be asked from you to go through the CELTA course. Perfect. And well, we answered this one as well. So if I take the course, will I receive a certificate, the preparation course?
Yes, it'll be a preparation teacher development certificate. So obviously not a Cambridge one, because it's not an accredited course in that way. It could be an IH certificate. But remember, of course, International House is world famous, so it's not like some little local certificate. It's it's accredited, it's respected, so it's not a complete waste of time. And then it'll help you get motivated for when you get your real Cambridge CELTA certificate.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah,
well,
and
so
it's
that will
offered
be even less.
Sorry. And it will be, it can be offered face-to-face. We're starting with online, and later we have to do it face-to-face as well.
Yeah, perfect. So can if I don't have any kind of experience in teaching, CELTA Preparation Course will help me to start or have some knowledge about it?
No, you can, you don't have to be experienced. And Because remember, CELTA was designed for people who've never taught before. So you can be a completely inexperienced teacher.
Yeah.
You could be an experienced teacher. That's absolutely fine, but it doesn't matter. The level of experience is not a problem. Inexperienced and experienced, you're both welcome. Okay.
Perfect. Nice. And I'm dropping a link in the comments now. So through this link, you can go and apply for the course, have more details. If you still have some questions, you can drop it or ask us on the social media as well. I think so far we're done with the questions prepared. Do you have anything to add, Ms. Laura?
I think that's probably enough for now.
Yes.
But if people have any questions, yes, I'm with you. Feel free to drop them here. And if not, you can ask us later.
Yeah, sure.
We'd rather, rather than sort of, talk on and on about it, you've got the most important information. And then on the website, that will give you the rest and the link for application and everything else.
Yes.
It's all there. For application, you just have to write a paragraph. Okay. So it's about 250 words.
Okay,
so
that's
just explaining why you want to take the course. That's it. So it's all like that. Okay.
Well, perfect.
So it's pretty straightforward.
If there is any possibility if I apply, get rejected to the CELTA Preparation Course?
Say that again.
Would it happen if I applied and would it happen that I'd be rejected to join the CELTA Preparation Course?
It's unlikely unless your written English is very, very low. Right? If you send us a paragraph and there are some mistakes, we'll just send it back to you and say, look, please, try to correct it, just so that we can see that when something's wrong and that you can correct it. So if you can't, if we find that, we gave you another chance and you still couldn't do it, we might have to say no for now. But it would have to be a very badly written paragraph.
But
so,
like normally the people...
Yes. Just check your writing before you send it. A piece of advice, and it's the same for applying for the CELTA, because, I've seen a lot of CELTA applications in my time. Set your keyboard to English, okay? It doesn't matter whether it's English USA, English United Kingdom, whatever. But you'll find that it's another way to help you check your work, to proofread, because you'll have little squiggly red lines that'll tell you when something's wrong. Use the proofing tools. Of course, we want you to use your own knowledge, because as English teachers or future English teachers, we need you to be able to write, reasonably correctly, because you're going to teach it. But it's amazing how many people clearly have got their keyboards set to Arabic or another language. And I know this because when I'm checking it, the font is taking me from right to left. So
this is something to bear in mind.
Exactly.
This is a very...
They're going the wrong way.
Yes.
So,
okay.
Just a piece of
set
advice.
Your Word document to English. Okay.
Absolutely.
From left to right.
Yes. Sort of go left to right, not right to left. And there are proofing tools in Word that can help you. Because especially I understand when you're doing something in a hurry, whether you speak English as a first language or not. Like I said, I make mistakes when I write sometimes. I proofread, and sometimes I give things to my friends or colleagues and say, look, I've looked at this 2 or 3 times now, and I think it's okay, but I'm really not sure. Another pair of eyes. This is what we do in real life. It's not cheating, all right? As long as you've written it in your own words, please do not plagiarize, because we have anti-plagiarism checkers, and I'm still finding plagiarism for other things. So check it, you write it, you check it. If you're not sure, use the proofing tools in Word. And again, just to double check, ask a friend to have a look. All right, friend, colleague, somebody who speaks good English, to have a look. There's no shame in doing that, because often people see things that you don't see.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
nice. Well, as long as this is all of it, at least so far. So many thanks for watching, and many thanks for you, Ms. Laura. And hopefully to see you soon in the CELTA Preparation Course and the CELTA Course as well.
Yes.
So
to seeing you there if you're coming to the CELTA preparation. I'll be waiting for you with my big stick to make you do a little bit of hard work.
Yeah, and the writing exams of assignments. Yes. Okay, perfect. Well, that was it for today. Good to see you, and see you on another live.
Okay, good night.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Good night for you too. Bye.